Hello and welcome back to another Ninja woodfire cooking video. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. I've got a lot of content which is hopefully of interest that you can check out. And if you're a returning viewer, then thank you very much for your support, especially those precious subscribers. I've seen that ticking over nicely, which is very much appreciated. So prep-wise, very minimal. We've got a hopper full, giving us about a 2-hour cook time. We've got a replacement hopper, and in the background there we have got some marinade which we'll add later on. Other brands are of course available. So this cook is going to be simple. As you can see there, that is a shop bought pork shoulder, and it's fresh from the freezer, literally just taken out the packet, been placed onto the grill. The grill attachment there is the flat plate, which was purchased separately. The only reason I've used that is for cleaning up afterwards. The ridged one that comes with the unit will be perfectly suitable, or you can use your crisper basket because you're going to have a low temperature, and it's mostly about getting as much smoke into the meat as possible and not necessarily the temperature of the grill. And the reason I'm doing this is, one, laziness, and two, it'd be good to see just what flavour we can get from the smoke and the unit itself. So with the smoker, we can set it on its merry way and leave it to its own devices. Obviously we do need to make sure that the meat is cooked properly, and I have seen comments about thermometers, and that would be an ideal use when you can't see right through the meat that you're cooking. I will of course be checking that this is cooked properly, because I'll be checking in at various points through the cook just to see how we're getting on. So I'll set it on its way, and then I will put some lovely music over the top and rejoin you guys at the key stages of the cook. So onto the smoker setting on the dial. That's preset to 120 degrees, which is the lowest temperature that it will go. And a cook time, I'm going to just knock that up to 5 hours because we're cooking from frozen. So the only, I did a bit of research, shall we say, off camera, and the only setting that will allow you to take it under 120 is the dehydrate function, and that goes against what I'm trying to do here. So the aim is to have delicious pulled pork when I finish work, and dehydrating it is probably not going to help. So the smoker function means that it's already on, so you probably saw there that I pressed the button through habit, and that actually turned it back off again. So you will need to press the smoker button, and the heads up display will show you that it's going through the ignition process. Another top tip is that when I refilled the hopper, it didn't automatically reignite. I did have to press the button again. So it's always worth, for longer cooks, checking your hopper. If it's not smoking, then you can boost it up again with that button. Yeah, and having the replacement pellets close to hand just makes life a little bit easier. The scooper that comes with the unit is perfect for the hopper size, so you can fill it up with relative ease. So that's our prep done. We're on our way. We've got a 5-hour cook time, and I will check in with you once it's had some time to take on that smoke and do the first reveal. Just wanted to quickly rejoin you to share a tip that was added onto the comments. So in one of my previous videos I mentioned that the cable that comes with the unit is quite short, and because I'm capturing footage and I need the unit to be a bit further away from the outdoor plug socket, I use extension cables. So the comment that was added was that the reason that they don't come with longer extension cables is the risk of overheating or cutting out, and overall they don't recommend that anything longer than 15 meters is used, which is actually quite a long cable, so I don't foresee anybody having any issues with that. Also, the other aspect of the comment was if you are using a reel cable, is to take it off the reel itself, again just to reduce the risk of overheating or it cutting out. So yeah, welcome comments and ones that I'm quite happy to share. What I would say with that is that the unit and the plug that it comes with does have a cutout switch, so you shouldn't have any risk of electrical fires, hopefully, but I'm no expert. And similarly, the reel that I use also has a cutout switch, so safety is obviously key, and I think we've got that covered, but keep those comments coming. Through the magic of editing, 2 whole hours has passed, and I noticed that the hopper, that the pellets had completely disintegrated, so that's good news because that means all that flavour is in the meat. So I did off camera top it up and get another backup one just in case we needed a third set. So that means that we're getting about 2 hours burn time out of the pellets. On the smoke function, as I mentioned earlier, it didn't automatically ignite, so I did have to press the woodfire button again, and you can hopefully see just there in the background that the filament is lit and it's already starting to capture the smoke. So there's our top tip, and we are ready for the first reveal. So let's just build the tension. And here we go. So we've got a lovely golden colour. There's already a little bit of caramelization around the sides, and then some of it's even crisped up there in the corner, and that is purely the smoke from the unit, so there's nothing extra added, not even seasoning at this stage. This is just the results of the 2-hour cook. So what I will do is I will now add the marinade, which I'll apply liberally, as you'll see later on in the video, and also some salt as well, just to crisp that up a little bit. I'll then pop the lid back down, give it another 2 hours, and then see where we're up to. There we are, we smothered it in the marinade, applied a liberal amount of salt, lid back down, and we'll leave that to work its magic, and then check back in with you and see how we're getting on. So our third check-in, and you can see there's a lot more caramelization there. Let's get the lid back down just to keep the heat in, because what we like, so this is going to be pulled pork, and it's nice to have some of those burnt edges, crispy bits, or whatever gastronomic term people use for crispy bits, because it adds flavour. So that's the beauty of the Ninja unit, is you've got those different functions. So if at the end of the smoker cook you want to crisp that up, then you could use the grill function. You can put it in the crisper basket. There's a number of options just to caramelise that a little bit more, including the sauce that you've put on there, because it will have a high sugar content. And we've reached the end of our cook. So it wasn't 5 hours, it was more like 3.5, because the piece of meat that we were cooking wasn't very big. By checking in quite regularly, I was able to keep a good eye on the cooking process, and I was actually really chuffed with the results. So as you can see, I've cheated a bit. I've already shredded some of the pork, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get, so there it is in there. There's quite a bit there. That's a fair sized bowl. And as you can see, we did get those crispy bits, and we didn't need to do anything with it at all. That's just purely letting it go through the cooking process. So everything that's still on the grill there is, of course, flavour. So we want that. What we don't want to do is scratch the surface. So you can see I've got a lovely wooden spatula, spatula I think it's called. You can see I'm clearly not a chef. So we're going to scrape all those good bits off. We'll then use the rest of the marinade to mix into that pulled pork, and that, my friends, is job done. That is pulled pork. So just to quickly recap, it was a frozen piece of meat put straight onto the grill. We put it at the smoker function. We went through 2 sets of pellets. So roughly, let's say 4-hour cook time. We added a marinade halfway through the cook and a generous amount of salt, and then we just left it to do its magic. And that is the results. As always, thank you very much for watching, especially if you made it to the end. If you can take a second to subscribe, I would really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.